achieved.
All right, welcome everybody to Studio Day Heffrey, where we are going to discuss the Cowboys' loss to the Cleveland Browns and who gets blamed for this one. I like the blame game every once in a while. Shout out to my black eye as well. I don't know how real football players don't get black eyes. When I got this playing flag football, I don't even know when it happened. I'll blame my buddy Bruce Mapp. Played at Coastal Carolina. Really good receiver. Pretty sure he must have taken a cheap shot at some point. Kind of guy he is. Might have been Wes. Never know. Okay. So, or I got beat up for mouthing off to the wrong guy. You decide in the comments. I'm going to blame the coaching staff for one part of this loss to the Browns, and I think it's big because the first turning point of this game is the Dak fumble that led to the first real short field for the Browns, which of course leads to a touchdown. Then you have the Zeke fumble, which leads to a short field and a touchdown for the Browns. It's 2 weeks in a row that you've turned it over twice, and it's led to 14 points. That's ball game. Look, they made a heroic comeback effort. They almost got there. They made it fun in the fourth quarter. But those are the sort of things that when you lose, you look back and you go, oh, yeah, that time when our points on our two drives there were 0 and we gave them 14 free ones. Man, that sure did hurt. And why did the first one happen? Because the play they're running, the progression is going to happen on Dak's left. Myles Garrett is going to be on Dak's right, matched up with Terrence Steele with no help. So, couple of things. I have seen it floated that Dak needs to change that protection and like move Zeke over there or something. I'll have to go back and look at the play and see if Zeke might be in the route. So maybe that's not possible. But whatever. The problem is you played the wrong guy. And I knew it. I talked about it. People knew. Brandon Knight's a better offensive tackle than Terrence Steele is. The end. So why are you starting an inferior player on purpose? Brian Broaddus was warning me about it during the week. He's like, I think they're going to go with Steele. And maybe they want to keep Knight in case something happens to Tyron or somebody goes down and then he's available. He's available if he's playing right tackle. Tyron goes down, you step over to left tackle, and then you can bring Terrence Steele in or move Zach Martin out. That's on the coaching staff. I have no idea why they intentionally started an inferior player. And they knew that it could potentially be big-time trouble because it didn't take long to get him out of there. After he'd gotten murdered twice by Myles Garrett, they put in another guy, and suddenly the blocking got better. Who would have thought that a better player could have been a better blocker? So that part the coaching staff has to own. You played an inferior player on purpose, and the Cleveland Browns took advantage of it. Now, other than that, I think the biggest question is going to be, is this defense salvageable in any way? Because letting up over 7 yards per carry, that's stupid. That's not even real. You know, I'm over here being anti-run the ball. If you want to get me 7 yards of carry, you can run the hell out of the ball. Go ahead. That'd be great. The entire defensive line, the only guy that you see popping up making run stops again is Tank Lawrence. Made like 3 of them. But my goodness, just getting bullied and pushed around and sealed out of the hole, and the linebackers are getting ate up by blockers. That is putrid. And behind them, you can't cover either. That's the biggest problem. The biggest problem this team has, and you don't see this a ton in the NFL, but if you really want to pretend you're a contender, the Cowboys are going to have to be active at the trade deadline. They're going to have to be flipping picks to try to find help on the defensive line. They might try to survive with what they have at linebacker with maybe getting Van Der Esch or Sean Lee back, whatever. It's that position group's not good either. When journeyman Joe Thomas is your best linebacker by far, that's not good. When you've invested a first-round pick, you've got a $12 million player at the other spot, and your best player is just a dude, that's a problem. But shout out to Joe Thomas because he's actually playing all right. Aldon Smith's rushing the passer on the plays where he's getting home has been great. Tank Lawrence as a run defender has been good, and Joe Thomas has been solid. That's the end of your decent NFL defensive players. They finally got Darian Thompson off the field for Donovan Wilson, but that didn't change anything. Wilson ended up making some tackles, but he missed some too, just like Thompson was doing. This defense is a giant problem. I don't know how you're going to be able to address it inside the season. So the one formula for the Cowboys to win football games and have a chance is play like you played in the first quarter, right up until the time you fumbled. So Dak, super glue the ball to your hand. Even if you don't see the hit coming, hold on. You got to find a way to hold on. But you're in your throwing motion. It's going to be tough. But, hey, super glue it. Zeke, don't put the ball on the ground. That's the only way. Because what the Cowboys have to do is play clean games offensively while throwing a bunch, score 30 to 40 points, and you got to do it without turning the ball over because this defense absolutely cannot survive if you give the other team a short field. So the offense has to own it too. Your turnovers did this. Your turnovers turned it from a football game where you looked like you were going to have a shootout where you were going to kick their ass into a game where you were like, what the world just happened to us? Well, what happened was 2 turnovers. The end. Their turnover differential. Oh, and by the way, the stat I told you last week, the Cowboys had the second worst average starting field position in the entire NFL. They're the worst now. They moved down. Vikings passed them. Stop running the ball out of the end zone, Tony Pollard. Just don't do it. My God, I'm tired of starting at the 22. The 25 is free. It's free. Stop. Just stop trying to return kickoffs. Doesn't work. So, yeah, the Cowboys' average starting field position is the 23-yard line. 23. And that includes when you make them punt. If you ever force a turnover, you factor all those in. And the Cowboys still start inside of where you get for free on average. That ain't good. So what do the Cowboys have? What do you have to be optimistic about? You have Tyron Smith. You have Zach Martin. You got a good quarterback. And you got good receivers. That's what you got. So is that going to be enough? Hell, 6-10 still might win this division, but do you want to? Or would you rather get your 6-10 to get you the 6th pick in the draft? You pick Micah Parsons, the Penn State linebacker, and try to fix your defense with your 1st and 2nd round picks and a bunch of money in the offseason. So that was bad. That was bad. I still like their plan offensively. I like the weapons that they have. I like the quarterback that they have. But, hey, when they got down, he also was making mistakes. He threw 2 or 3 balls that should have been picked off. So this whole thing is bad, and it all starts with the fact that the other team is forcing turnovers on you, and you are not forcing them on them. So what are you going to do? You could say, well, we turned the ball over too much, so we're going to reel it back in, and we're going to run the ball a bunch so that we can try not to turn the ball over, although your running backs are fumbling too, so that probably doesn't work anyway. But getting under 4 yards of carry, that just doesn't work. You won't score points. You just end up punting a bunch. Although, hell, on some of these drives, a punt would be a lot better than the way they're ending the drives, just giving the ball to the other team. But does this team have potential? Yeah, offensively. Does this team have potential defensively? No. Your only hope defensively is that getting back Cheeto, Anthony Brown, Vander Esch can't help you unless you're going to bench Jalen. Benching Joe Thomas isn't going to help you. But Cheeto, Anthony Brown, and Randy Gregory. Maybe those guys could help you because what this team needs to be is somewhere approaching average on defense to have a chance to be really good. Because they can be one of the 3 best offenses in football. They can be that. But you got to be somewhere around 16 to 20 as a defense. No team overcomes having a horrendous defense. You got to be somewhat competitive, and that's what the Cowboys are missing right now, and they need it. Got to stop turning the ball over, and got to be at least competitive on defense. So hopefully when you get your 2 best corners back, I know nobody wants to hear it, Cheeto and Anthony Brown are your 2 best corners. When you get them back, you got to do something at safety. You got to do something. Darian Thompson can't play anymore. Once you've benched him once, you're done. So maybe Donovan Wilson plays better. I don't know. Maybe we do have to talk about Earl Thomas. I know you guys saw the story. The Houston Texans were thinking about it, and basically the players in the locker room said, hell no, we don't want Earl here. So do your own math. I know a lot of people are just going to do the sports fan reaction of, I don't care if people don't like him. Put him on the team. There's a reason people don't want Earl in their locker room. There's a reason. All right, I'll do the all 22 tape this evening, so we'll be able to actually break things down instead of just my overview of what happened in that game. So look for that tomorrow. Make sure you're subscribed to youtube.com/Jeff Cavanaugh. You got the notifications turned on. Trying to get to the 22% club of people who have those turned on. Leave in the comments what you are curious about for tomorrow, who you blame, who you want to know about, how they look. I'll get into the tape tonight, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Make sure you're listening to 105.3 The Fan every day. I love you, and I mean that. I love you.